Life is too short for bad books. Today I'm showing some of the best books that I've read this year, and I'm going to present reasons for why you should check them out too. Let's go. Welcome to the Booklab. I'm Bjorn, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the best books that I've read this year. This is probably going to be a two-part video because there's a lot to go through. It's been a great reading year. The first one out is The Righteous Mind by Jonathan Haidt. I finished it last week, I think, so I haven't even done a review for it, but it immediately got a place on my great books list, which is like a hall of fame of the best books that I've read throughout the decades. Why is it so good? What I find most important with a great book is that I get challenged. I have to take a step back after reading it and re-evaluate some ideas that I have about human nature, for instance. And this book does that. It goes through morality, and it has the argument. I think the main argument is that we are not as rational as we think we are, and most of our moral reasons that we come up with post hoc, after the fact. First we go with our intuition, and then we find out the reasons why we did that afterwards. It's like a rider and an elephant is the analogy he uses, and reason is the rider, but the elephant is actually steering us down the road of life, and the driver is just acting like it was his decision afterwards. It's a super interesting read. I will have a big review coming up on that. Another one, and this is surprising, this has been my most popular video this year. I post videos every Thursday, book reviews, on human nature, psychology, human potential, and philosophy. And one of those cool books, it's maybe not the best book I've ever read, but I keep thinking about it, so I wanted to bring it up. It's Games People Play by Berne, The Psychology of Human Relationships. And this book goes through different games we play, psychological games that we play with in our marriage, at cocktail parties, the dark games of the underground. It's a super interesting book. I think the introduction to this book itself is worth the price of commission. Whatever. Oh, next we have one. This is actually pretty spooky. It's Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience by Mihaly, Csikszentmihalyi. You probably heard about the expression flow and what it is. It's a state you get into where you lost track of time. Everything feels effortlessly. The challenge meets your skill. There's a bunch of more criteria, and that is one of the optimal experiences. This could be when you practice being good at the violin. I lose myself sometimes in writing. When I play video games, there's a lot of different flow experience, and this book talks about how you can get more flow into your life. Turn everyday chores and everyday experiences that you might find mundane into something that you can enjoy. I didn't expect to get so much out of this book because I've already heard about the concept before, but this book is extremely practical, and I've learned a lot, and it made it up to my hall of fame as well, the great books list. The spooky thing was the day I posted this review, because I remember, because I was doing research on the author, because I just wanted to check if he was dead or alive, and I checked his Wikipedia page. He was alive, old but alive, and when I posted the video and went back to the Wikipedia page, he had died. So he died like within the hour of me posting that video. And I'm not superstitious or anything, or I don't have the ego to think I was involved with it. It was just this weird synchronicity or coincidence that happened at the same time. So I became very emotional about that. So rest in peace. Your work is remembered, and this will affect people for hundreds of years. Another book, The Comfort Crisis. This is the sleeper hit of this year. It was published this year. I picked it up because of my friend Ras Piratas at Instagram. He was raving about it, and my God, this is good. This is probably my favorite book this year. No, it's maybe not a groundbreaking book because it builds on other people's research, but it compiles it in a very compelling way. It talks about embracing discomfort as a way of reclaiming your health and your life. We live in a world where we are always comfortable, everything is just nice, and we have pillows everywhere, and we have central heating. This is not the environment we evolved to live in. The natural stressors that we have evolved to have on an everyday basis is gone, and we feel shit because of that. And this book is about how you can reintroduce discomfort in your own life and the benefits you can reap from it. So it mixes science. You could follow the author on his journey to find more discomfort in his life. He goes traveling, doing different kind of challenges for himself. He also meets up with practitioners of discomfort. Yeah, it's basically a guide for how to rediscover the beauty of being uncomfortable, and also laying out the science behind why it's good for you and how it can make you live longer and healthier lives. This is not that. This is not from this year, but I can just talk a little bit about it. The Shallows is another book on that. It's like what the internet is doing to our brains. We've really changed our lifestyle since the advent of the internet and smartphones, and it affects our way of processing information, our attention span. It's kind of a companion book to The Comfort Crisis, I would say, and everyone should check this one out. This is a 5 out of 5 book too. The Shallows by Nicholas Shar. Last but not least, The True Believer by Eric Hoffer. This book blew my mind. I read it back to back twice. It's one of those books where you take so many notes because it's already quite condensed. Eric Hoffer is a philosopher, American, I think. He's talking about mass movements, and he tries to figure out, like, okay, what's the psychology behind that? Why do people want to join up in groups and just lose themselves in the crowd or in crowd mentality? So it talks about national movements, communism, even religious movements, and it talks about how they come about, what are the prerequisites. When is a nation ripe for a mass movement? Who are the key actors? What are the phases of a mass movement? It's a fascinating read, and it has some ideas that are really interesting just to apply to what we see happening around us today in the world. I think that's it for part 1. Come back in a week and we'll have more highlights. And don't forget to smash the like button. It helps me, because the algorithm likes likes. So if you smash that, it's a small action from your side, but it helps the channel a lot. And I want to reach people with great books, because I think great books will impact the world in a positive way. If people read great books, we can be better people, we can be better to others, and everything is going to be awesome. Take care. Bjorn out.